Hello, dear friends. It is such a joy to be with you today. Just me, you, and the wonderful presence of God right here with us. I've been thinking lately about habits, those things we do without even thinking about them. Someone defined a habit this way: an act repeated so often as to be done involuntarily. That is, without a new decision of the mind each time it is done. Think about tying your shoes. You don't sit there and have a big debate with yourself every morning. Should I tie them? How do the loops work again? No, your hands just know what to do. You've done it so many times it's become part of you. It's involuntary. Now, I want you to take a deep breath with me. Pastor takes a gentle deep breath in and out. Did you have to plan that breath? Did you put it on your to-do list today? Remember to breathe at 10 o'clock a.m. Of course not. You just do it because if you don't, you can't live. It's the most natural, involuntary thing in the world. And this, dear ones, brings us to the heart of what I want to share with you today. It's about prayer. Sometimes we make prayer so complicated, we think it has to be big words, or in a special holy building, or that we have to be in a perfect mood. But when I look at Jesus, my goodness, when I look at Jesus, I see something so different. The Bible tells us that Jesus prayed. But it wasn't just a duty for him. He loved to pray. It seems that sometimes praying was actually his way of resting. When the crowds were pressing in, when the demands were high, he didn't just need physical sleep. He needed to be with his Father. He prayed so much and so often that it became a part of his very life. It became to him just like breathing, involuntary. He didn't have to decide to do it. His heart just naturally turned toward heaven because that's where his life came from. Isn't that a beautiful thought? That prayer could be as simple and necessary to our spirits as breathing is to our lungs. I truly believe there is nothing we need to learn so much as how to pray. We are like little children needing to learn how to speak to our Papa. And there are really two ways we learn things in this life. One way is by being told. We read a book of instructions. That's good. But the other way, the simpler, surer way, is by watching someone else do it. Think of a little boy learning to fix a bicycle. He can read a manual, sure. But how much better is it when his dad says, "Come here, son, watch my hands. See how I hold the wrench? Now you try." We need to learn how to pray by watching how Jesus prayed, and then, in our own simple, stumbling way, trying to imitate him. We aren't just studying what he said about prayer, though, his teachings are precious gold, and we aren't just looking at how he answers our prayers now from heaven. We need to look back and see how he himself prayed when he was down here, walking on this dusty earth, surrounded by the same kinds of tiredness and busyness and temptations that surround you and me. Look at what it says in the Gospel of Mark. This is just a little window into his habits. Mark 1:35, NIV. Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place before the sun came up, where he prayed. Isn't that lovely? Before the noise of the world began, before the demands of the day started pulling at him, he just had to be with his Father. It wasn't a show for anyone else. It was still dark. It was just for him and God. It was his breath for the day, and it wasn't just once in a while. It was his pattern. Over in the book of Luke, we see this happening again and again. Luke 5:16, NIV. But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. He often withdrew. When things got too loud, he slipped away. He knew he couldn't do what he needed to do without that constant connection to his daddy in heaven. Dear friends, if Jesus, the spotless, perfect Son of God, needed to pray that often, if he needed that constant breathing in of the Father's presence just to navigate life on earth, oh my, how much more do you and I need it? But here is the wonderful thing. We don't have to be intimidated by this. We don't have to try and be spiritual giants overnight. God doesn't expect us to come with perfect prayers. I think the secret to making prayer a habit, to making it like breathing, is having a childlike heart. A little child doesn't worry about grammar when they run to their parent with a scraped knee. They just cry out, "Help!" and they trust they will be held. Jesus actually told us this is the only way to really approach the kingdom. Matthew 18:3, NIV. And he said, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." Becoming like a little child means realizing how small we are and how big God is, and how good it is to just rely on him for everything. When you realize you are small, and that your heavenly Father is so big and so loving, you want to talk to him. You want to involve him in the little things. So how do we make prayer like breathing? We start small. Maybe it's just a whisper when you first wake up. "Good morning, Lord. Thank you for this day. Walk with me." Maybe it's when you're washing the dishes, and you just say, "Lord, wash my heart while I wash these plates." Maybe it's when you're driving in traffic and feeling frustrated and you just breathe out, "Jesus, I need your peace right now." It's not about a new big decision every time. It's just letting your heart turn toward him over and over again until it becomes involuntary. Until you realize, I can't go 10 minutes without just checking in with my Father. He loves you so much, He isn't waiting for you to get the words right. He's just waiting for you. Let us approach our Heavenly Father with childlike faith.